So with our cemetery walls finished, we need something else. An entrance. How else are you going to get into your crypts? So we're going to create a couple of columns. Throw some gargoyles on top and maybe some torches. Let's get started. We start with a column, which is going to be 1 inch by 1 inch. And this one I cut at 2.5 inches, but after I tried it out, I thought maybe a little bit taller columns would look better with the size fence that I created, so I went back and made these actually 3 inches tall. Trim them up, make sure they're square. Then I use the texturing with this aluminum foil wadded up, going around giving it texture. You'll see me do this in a lot of my videos. Gives a really nice stone texture. Do it with both columns. And then I use an X-Acto knife. And what I do with this is I go through and I score where I want my bricks to be. And I'm really just eyeballing it here. And once I got my scoring done, I'll go back over it with a pencil. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. Sometimes you can just use a ballpoint pen or a pencil. There is a way that you could do this by slicing different layers of the columns using a proxon, for example. Maybe I'll do that in another video. Pretty much what I do is both columns I go through, these are about 1/8 at 1/4 inch apart, again just eyeballing it, and I do my brickwork this way, and once it's done we'll be ready to go on to the next step. Okay, with my brickwork done, we move over to what I normally do first with my pieces is give them a little bit of protection, along with a base coat in black. Most of my stonework, this is the process that I use to try to keep everything consistent in a similar color palette. Give it full coverage top and bottom. The next thing I do is I go over it with a dark gray. Cover all of it, top and bottom, all the way around. I know you won't see the bottom, but it's just out of habit I do that. Next up, I do a little bit of a dry brush with a tan in this case. Sometimes I'll do a light gray instead of a tan. I just wanted to try something new here. With that done, I cut out these little 1/8 inch squares that are about 1 inch and 1/8 square. Give it Mod Podge and then set it off to the side. Next, I went over to my printer and decided to print out a plate of gargoyles and a plate of torches. While I only need 2 torches, you can never have enough. So after the printing's done, the next step is your cleanup. Go over and clean up all of the little supports that are on there. And I get these 2 little guys and test them out for size on top of the columns before I painted them. And they look about right. And they also don't look happy. Next up, I primed them using a gray primer. Vallejo. Torches as well, and once they're primed I'm going to paint them. So with the gargoyles I went with this Stonewall Gray because they're stone golems. I'm not a miniature painter, not the greatest paint jobs here. First time I did the torches, I did them in this gunmetal gray and then didn't like the look of them, so went back over them in black to keep with the theme of that wrought iron. So now I'm ready to glue them onto the columns, and I just use hot glue. It's stringy and you gotta make sure you get the strings off. Here's my caps that are going to go on the top of the columns before I put the gargoyles on. And again with the dark gray, and then I'll follow up with a tan, and then do some dry brushing. So this is a dry brushing of tan. And then I do a black wash to give them a little bit more of an aged look here. And set them off to the side to dry. And once they're dry, I came back and put some hot glue on them. Set them down on the top and centered them best as I could, eyeballing it here. And then we're almost done. We just got to glue the gargoyles on the top. Again with the hot glue. Set them on the top there. And we are all done with the little entrance for our cemetery. Let's see what it looks like. It's starting to come together. A couple more sessions and we'll be ready to build the mausoleum. I think that's it. Catch you next time. And that concludes another episode of Tabletop That. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, feel free to hit that thumbs down button. Leave comments below and hit that subscribe button if you're so inclined. And until next time, have fun and keep crafting.